Welcome to the Betway Summer Cup, everybody. It's good to have you, to be with you. Let me get it out properly. And our panelists on the show tonight is none other than our sponsor, Jonathan Bloomberg, who, of course, looks after all of the customer experience at Betway. So welcome, John. Nice to have you on our show.
Thank you very much, Claude. Lovely to be here with you all.
Exciting moment for you guys, building up into the big day.
It is definitely an exciting moment. I think it's been a long time coming, as we've spoken during the week as well about, and we hope that the day goes according to plan.
Excellent. Gabriel Soma, of course, is with us from 4 Racing, as well as an expert tipster, punter, all those sorts of things. And I hope you had a good look at the card and looking forward to Saturday, Gab.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Clyde. Definitely looking forward to Saturday. It's one of our biggest days in the program, if not the biggest. Thank you to Betway for coming on board. To have a name like them partner up with us is phenomenal, and it definitely can only help towards the vision of 4 Racing.
No question about that. And of course, our champion trainer, Michael de Kock, who's won this race a number of times already. Mike, good to have you with us. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Claudia.
No, it's valuable time, and you've got a lot of very good horses stepping out. I see the stable on Saturday, which is great to see.
Yeah, look, I mean, these are the days we sort of want to target if you've got them good enough. And certainly we hope that we do have a few that are good enough on the day.
I'm sure you will, no question about that. Just a reminder, what's going on with the tote? Well, here's a quick reminder as to what we're doing. A reminder about the bipot, which starts up in race number 2, the place accumulator race 3, and there's a mega pick 6 pool of 10 million rand that they're predicting for the big day on Saturday. In terms of the first jackpot, you can get that on. There's a 650,000 rand pool. And then, of course, the Betway Summer Cup. The bet you want to catch is the quartet. If you can get that right, there's a 500,000 already in there, and it's likely to reach 2 million rand on the day. Just a quick one with regards to the Betway experience. I want to just talk to Jonathan about it, because your site, I see now showing multiple opportunities in which to bet. Like, for example, Mike de Kock to train the winner, or a trainer to train the winner, something like 6 to 10 or 7 to 10, age of the winner, from the specific winning gate. You've got multiple opportunities in which for people to have a go.
We do, Claude, and I think that adds to the experience, giving punters the opportunity to, sort of put their money to what their view is. And I think in terms of the Summer Cup, and maybe, having a split view on sparkling water and safe passage, just less than 7 or 10 that Mark would train the winner. And obviously there's other backup. But I think, even if it was in terms of backing a horse from a draw or the age, something there for everybody.
Nothing wrong with that. You mind, you're taking 6 to 10 now about Mark de Kock with a number of horses if he wins the race. So that's the option. And now, do you find that you've got to go to...
Yes, so at the moment it's under anti-post, and you will find it there. Obviously, all betting is up. That would be under future racing, and obviously, come Saturday, it will all be under today's cards.
Excellent. Let's start with the first race. I want to talk to Mark about this juvenile 800 metres scurry. Nice to see them back in action so early in the season.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to have seen a few juveniles earlier on in the season. Now, I remember as a youngster growing up. Newmarket used to have 2 on a Wednesday, Turfentine 2 on a Saturday.
Yes.
In November already.
Correct.
Correct. And I don't know what...
Nick Clausen used to win them. Remember Nick Clausen used to win them?
Well, Jim Brady, Nick Clausen, there used to be all the at Ferraris.
Correct, yeah.
And good horses used to come. I mean, remember Chanted Garden coming out in the 800 metres. So, I don't know why the trend has been to be so late with horses these days, but I think it's a bit of a chicken and egg situation as well. We've got to put the races on.
Do you not think those days they used to breed sprinters much more than they did stayers then? No.
No, the good horses were quick. Horses went on to, I remember Ferraris had an instrument landing horse, can't think of his name now, won the Derby. Ran in one of the early juveniles. The good horses have got the speed. I think it could possibly be a lot of the way they're raised a lot softer these days, but also trainers these days don't take them into the yard. They send them to spelling farms. And I think that's probably, whereas, within a week of the sales, they were getting lunged and broken in.
Yeah. That's a good point, I guess.
Yeah.
Those days, they all should stay back at home and they should come out as early as possible. Any Enchanted Gardens in the first of yours?
I don't know about that. None of them are. I don't know if they...
Because the market seems to think you've got an Enchanted Garden.
They're both fairly speedy. Zunoni, for me, would be the Zenovi. Would be the quicker of the two, which is quite exciting because he's a heavenly blue. which I trained, and he seems to have quite a bit of pace. Out of quite, there's a fair amount of stamina in the female line. So the fact that he actually is speedy is a good sign for a first season sire.
And Warren must be very excited about that. And you guys are still involved with Heavenly Blues, his first runner, right?
Yes, very excited about it. And the odd Heavenly Blue that I do have seem to be showing something. But again, that's got to turn into the number one box.
Sure, fair enough, yeah.
The gallops are not run on paper.
We've said it before, these 800-metre scurries are like lotto. I mean, you never really know at the end of the day. It might be flying, but things happen on the day, right?
You can have the fastest horse in the world that gets left in the gates. Done.
Correct. Okay, well, they tell me Ash Fortune's horse is flying at home, Gabs. I don't know if you know anything about it?
Unfortunately not. There's whispers all around. The whispers have been for Mr. De Cock's horses, Fortune's horses.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. When it comes to these first-timers, the advice I can give people is watch them go down to the start. That's a major part in finding a winner. But at 4-1, first Heavenly Blue on the track, I promise you they're not going to run it if they think it's going to disappoint.
Worth taking. All right, well, we're going to go to the second race. Let's talk about it now because it is a bipot opportunity. And let me ask Jonathan about Malek.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. There's been a little bit of money for it. I think pretty good debut first time up. Only concern for me, I like to sort of lead towards horses drawn higher down the straight. So that would be my one sort of if about it. But my man on my left here, Gabby, he's got a share in a horse here that I think last time out that was quietly fancied. Also, unfortunately, not the best draw. Maybe he's got something to add there.
Yeah, Gabs, have a go.
So I made it a race in 3, Clyde. I'll touch on Brave Viking quickly because I do know a bit about him. And I do know Joe thinks he's a really high-class horse. And to be brutally honest, he's been slightly disappointing, although there have been excuses. I mean, last time he returned after arrest. But if he does show a glimpse of what he shows at home, then he'll definitely be very competitive in a race like this. The two dangers will definitely be Fish Eagle and Malek. They come out of the Foster Nova form line. Foster Nova came out and won today. So it was 2 promising runs from debutants last time. And with any natural improvement, you would expect them to be right there in the finish.
Now, interesting first time in here too, Gabs. This little Civil Princess, I see they're priced up second choice.
Yeah, look, you've got to respect money for the horses, but I'll be honest, they've got to be exceptional in order to beat horses that have had experience and that are above average.
Okay. And that's the key, Marcus, some above average horses. And yours?
I quite like a horse called Munchkin who beat Insightful last time. It's drawn 7. I wouldn't be discarding that horse's chances.
Yeah, no, certainly not out of it. Got to have a claim. PAs, bipots we secure with what, Gab?
Look, as the owner of Brave Viking, I'm definitely going to take one where I'm bankering. Yeah. But if you want to cover, pick either 4 or 7 as the cover, and you should definitely stay in.
Let's talk about the third race now. We go on to that. It is place accumulated time. And in this market, Forever Mind's trading its third choice 6-1. Let's talk a little about Forever Mind. Give it a bit of a chance in the lineup, Michael.
Must have a chance. I don't know what's favourite, Clyde. What is favourite?
Bon Vivant's 5.
Bon Vivant at the weights. She's 6 pounds clear of everything.
Yeah.
Given the filly sex allowance in this restricted handicap. So she definitely the horse to beat. I think she's got the draw. He's going to have to work hard from the draw, but he's very fit. He's very well. I think if you put him and her in there,
yeah,
you could possibly go quite light, maybe.
He's safe. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know that he's well. John, you got a fancy for anything in this?
Listen, I think draw's important. I think Bon Vivant, draw, weight advantage, course distance. I'd probably also look towards Castletown. I think Stewie Pettigrew's been in unbelievable form. I think this horse going to love the track as it should. Fastest 400 to finish in numerous of its last couple of runs. And as I said, the stable's in good form. I think obviously I'd love Mark to win as many races as he could on the day. Sure. Great for us as he is an ambassador for us. Yeah, the draw's just a little bit of a dampener for me in terms of working to get over from there.
Could be a bit of a concern. Gabs, it always helps when you're in a conditions race like this and a horse like Bon Vivant comes in a couple of kilos ahead of the rest of them and is a talented sort.
No doubt, Clyde. So besides being better off at the weights, for me, draws are even more important than weights in some situations. The fact that she has the draw, she does draw 3, means she's going to get the run of the race. And because of that, Clyde, I think she'll take all the beating and possibly a banker in most bets. For those that want to go a little bit wider, as I say, respect Castletown and Forever Mine. They definitely got chances. But for those that want to go wider at a nice price, horse number 4, Team Gold, Ignore his last start, everything went wrong, but before that he won the Spring Spree Stakes. So off draw 4, he has to be respected. But I think Bon Vivant will be very hard to beat.
Okay, hard to beat Bon Vivant side, the third, Gobsmack. Can we get away with Gobsmack, Gabby, in the fourth opening leg? It's a 10 million rand pick 6. What's your plan?
Clyde, you have to respect a horse that wins 4 out of 4. She's got to be well above average. But I think this is her acid test. And to be honest, I made one of the better bets on the card in this race, in number 11, Kiss Me Captain. So her last start, she ran in 1,000. It was clearly too short for her. Back into 1160 is going to suit her. The form line with Flower Bombs worked out nicely. She gave Flower Bomb weight, who then in turn came out in a feature race and ran extremely well. And I like these young horses in these races, Clyde. So I'm a Kiss Me Captain fan, and I'm also going to go pretty big on her. So in one pick 6, banker her. In others, you've got to add a few horses with her. Sashay Away, Gobsmacked, Sweet Pepper, of course. But have a go, Kiss Me Captain.
Kiss Me Captain, very interesting play. First leg of the pick 6. I want to go to race 5. First leg of the jackpot, and talk about Desert Miracle now. Exposed last time, got out. I suppose you didn't really expect to be up there that early. What was the plan?
Well, I wanted her buried, and she never had a day's, not a minute's cover. She'll get cover on Saturday. You know, as I've alluded to before, she's not easy to train, not straightforward. This is her third run after her rest. We're trying to run her into fitness as opposed to work her into fitness, if you, you know, sort of get where I'm going.
Yeah.
But again, a very competitive field. Quite a lot of fillies in here, funny enough, taking their play. And there's a Durban rider in Coin Spinner who's actually got some sort of reasonable form,
yeah,
and a draw to go with it. So, yeah, competitive field.
But I mean, the like-for-like Desert Miracle that we remember and we know, and that she's got a reputation for, she still holds that reputation.
Well, she still, you know, when you do let her go at home, she's still got that sort of work. But again, she would be a better horse over 14 and a mile. We'll get that.
I understand that.
We're trying to restrict her at the moment so we don't have to put too much pressure on the lungs. But, you know, not straightforward, not easy to train, honestly.
I can imagine it must be challenging. Gabby, would you depend on her?
Clyde, it's simple. If she gets cover, she wins. It's as simple as that. She's by far the best horse in the race. As a punter, of course, you wouldn't want her to be jump out the pens and be taken back to get the cover.
Yeah.
You would really hope that she can come out and get the cover. And if she's able to do that, I promise you, she's the type of filly that could win this race without coming off the bit.
Yeah.
So you've got to take your chances. Mr. De Kock believes she's going to get the cover. And if she does get the cover without being taken back, which could be a concern, then a banker in all bets.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from, John. So perhaps it's a case of dwelt, lose a length, and hopefully sit off them or not.
Sit in the heels of the speed is where you want to be.
Sit off the heels of the speed. Johnny,
I think Samanga's probably going to have no option. I think everybody's going to be diving towards that outside fence, and I think he's going to probably get a run 4 or 5 lengths off them. And I'm pretty much in agreement with Gabby's synopsis there, that if Desert Miracle does pitch that we know and we've seen, and Samanga does get the run of the race, as we hope he does, yeah, she could win quite comfortably.
I know Gavin Lorena is coming to join us. We're going to ask him too about it because he's part of our panel as well. John, before you leave us, I want to just ask you with regards to the Betway Summer Cup. I mean, you've looked at the race, just your selection, and we'll talk to the guys just now.
Yeah, I think for me, Sparkling Water, as I've said, I think she was a little bit unlucky in April. I think was a tough pull for a lot of people to swallow that she got beaten. Perfectly drawn, maybe only negative second run off the rest, but we're not going to question Mark on that. He knows exactly what he's doing. You know, from everything we hear, you know, prep's gone pretty well. She's going to love the 2000 at Turfentine. For me, the win in the July was absolutely scintillating, how she got over from the draw and it was race over at the 400. And yeah, listen, obviously, for you know, in terms of the race for us, it's a fairy tale if Mark should win and can win. But ultimately, we sponsors, we want to be in racing, we're here for the game, and however we can support in terms of the stakes and the day, and whoever may win it, we'll just be glad.
Fantastic. It's lovely to have you on board. Jonathan Bloomberg, Customer Experience, he looks after you. Join Betway. We'll be back in a minute.